It's sunny, but there's a lot of haze in the sky. Always acts like a natural filter, I guess, for capturing. And what's going on today? Lots of interesting stuff, actually. How about this first one? I know recently there was Boeing with its airplane, for whatever reason, taking a nosedive. But how about this? It says Boeing's Australian produced uncrewed aircraft to be named MQ-28A Ghostbat. It says Australia congratulates the Australian government and Royal Australian Air Force on their selection of MQ-28A Ghostbat as the military designator and the name of the first Australian-produced military combat aircraft in over 50 years. The introduction of the new popular name is a rare and special moment in aviation history for our RAAF partners and industry team of over 35 Australian suppliers, said Glenn Ferguson, Director Air Power Teaming System Australia and International. And they won't be stopping there, it seems. It says during 2022, the program will continue to accelerate the development and testing of the MQ-28A Ghostbat with a focus on sensor and missionization capabilities to deliver on RAAF commitments. These requirements will continue to expand as Boeing moves towards the aim of delivering an operational capability for the ADF. Makes you wonder how they are going to test this, I guess. With that said, everyone's trying to up, I guess, their drone tech in their home countries. This one says, drone will enable secure data collection. A new small drone jointly developed by Japan's government and private businesses provides the country with the ability to strengthen its data protection. With China currently dominating the drone market, Japan is working to produce domestic models to keep secure data gathered in highly confidential situations. Chinese companies account for about 80% of the global market share for small drones, and information such as communication data, images, and flight routes is often stored in Chinese servers via special apps, raising concerns over information leaks. That's the common story you've often heard. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the future eventually, where everyone, at least for government-related tasks and stuff, they'll only want to use, I guess, locally made drones. And in terms of international stuff, this one was kind of interesting. Apparently, our Prime Minister here went to the European Parliament to give some kind of speech. I guess it's just one of those things like, yeah, we're great at this and that. We promote, for example, freedom, democracy. Whereas in this case, it seems like a lot of the officials there didn't take too kindly to the Prime Minister, just based on what happened here recently in terms of things like the emergency acts and all that. So this person had like this speech. It was kind of crazy. You can see here in terms of how she felt about him.
Thank you. Based on Article 195, out that it would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau. Then again, a Prime Minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists just because they dared to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy, should not be allowed to speak in this House at all. Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence. Thank you.
I'm still interested in seeing some kind of full investigation, because a lot of the stuff just doesn't add up in terms of them just not willing to even talk to the protesters and all that. It'll be interesting to see what comes about, if it ever happens anyways. And I guess with that in mind, it's usually about things like mandates where the arguments are arising. For example, people saying it doesn't make sense with the science and all that. Well, this one was really fascinating. This one says, Mayor Adams says professional athletes performers now exempt from vaccine mandate. After months of pressure, Mayor Eric Adams is exempting professional athletes and performers from the city's workplace vaccine mandate. That means Net fans could soon see Kyrie Irving play home games, and the news came down right before Major League Baseball starts its new season. CBS 2's John Dias reports Thursday. Adams said the exemption takes effect immediately, regardless of the performers' and players' COVID vaccine status. Currently, only non-residents are exempt under this executive order. We're expanding it to the residents of New York City. In my opinion, this is a great example of a story where it just doesn't make sense in many ways, because here, to my understanding, the basketball player Kyrie Irving, he never got the vaccine, and so he wasn't allowed to play in his home games because of this rule. but I guess with this little workaround, he was able to actually still buy a ticket as a regular person, attend the game, watch his teammates, interact with people, no mask or whatever, hugging them. That's allowed, but he's not allowed to play for his team. That makes absolutely no sense, correct? I guess because of that, and with this announcement, now they're saying, okay, in light of like some research or something like that, now they're going to allow it. But it makes you wonder here, because specifically here it says professional athletes and performers now exempt from the vaccine mandate. How does that make sense with any other person if they're not, let's just say, an athlete or something like that? How does that make sense with the science? It doesn't in many ways, correct? So again, it would be kind of interesting to see if there ever will be like a full investigation into this stuff. Like, how did you come up with this, I guess, result? What's your data that you're using and all that? Especially now when there's so much available information, it does come across, in my opinion, as people just wanting to keep it the way it is for whatever reason. That's a Alright, see you guys later.